times during that stretch, including taking number 7 Notre Dame right to the end last time out.
Yeah, the resume for both of these teams is remarkably similar, right? You go even through ACC play, they both have a big upset. Clemson at home against Virginia Tech, Boston College on the road against North Carolina State. They both got off to a relatively decent start in league play. Both have stumbled a little bit over the last couple of games. So it's just a matter of which team can find themselves getting back on the right footing this afternoon.
Dak Dang wins the tip. Boston College in the gold today, Clemson in purple. I appreciate you joining us here on this Sunday afternoon on the Heights as JoJo Lacey gets it over to Mair for Boston College. Dak Dang's going to play a big part today as Clemson will play a lot of zone defensively. Mair for 3. It's off the mark to start, but a good offensive rebound by JoJo Lacey. Boston College is good on the offensive glass. The Eagles are first in the ACC in offensive rebounds per game. And that is a kicked ball called against Clemson.
And that is sometimes one of the vulnerabilities of the 2-3 zone. Is that when you're sort of stationary sometimes defensively, you're not marking one particular player, so you don't necessarily box out one particular player. That was a good effort that time by Lacey coming over the top to grab that rebound.
Amari Robinson was called for the foul for Clemson, the Tigers' leading scorer. Deanna Todd back for BC, her 3rd game since returning for injury after missing about a month of time. Lacey's pull-up no good. Perpignan then all the way in on the run. Got it inside to Robinson. And a 1,000-point scorer at Clemson, Amari Robinson, gives the Tigers the early lead.
Yeah, that all started, though, with a push from Perpignan getting up the floor quickly and into the paint. A good handoff to Robinson down low.
Dak Dang has a size advantage inside, couldn't finish. And the Eagles are 0 for 3 to start from the floor. Boston College coming out in a little bit of a zone as well. We've seen both defenses from Joanna Burnaby-McNamee. Notre Dame played a lot of zone against Clemson, caused a lot of turnovers last time out. That 3 ball from Lacey is off the mark. Bradford inside, got it to Hank, who's up and in. Hank, who's played every game of her career since arriving to Clemson. The Tigers, the first 4 points of the game.
Yeah, good job early on here by Clemson, getting the ball inside in good position for their 2 main post players, and Robinson and Hank to get good looks.
Daly inside, pull up, no.
Made that a tougher shot.
Rebound. Little hesitation, then decided to take it. That outlet is saved by JoJo Lacey. Sending the Eagles on the run. And Mair with the pull-up. Offensive rebound for Dak Dang. The Eagles recycle the offense with Todd. No good on the 3. And Boston College with a disastrous start from the field, yet to make. Bradford all the way in and will go to the line.
Well, here's what Clemson's doing early on that Boston College has yet to do. Penetrating the paint and a beautiful little handoff, and could have gotten Gadkeng potentially for a foul there. Good composed finish by Robinson with Gadkeng trying to swat it away. Been an excellent career for Amari Robinson and having a strong senior campaign.
End up getting the foul on Daly, which sends Nunu Bradford, as she likes to be called. Daisha Bradford, the senior. Had an interesting journey to arrive here at Clemson. Started at Tallahassee Community College before transferring then to Jones College, where she was a junior college first-team All-American before coming into Clemson last year. 1 of 2 at the line for Bradford. And Clemson's got the rebound back. Lacey may have gotten hit, was down awkwardly, but we'll have to play it out. Todd on the run, blocked but a foul. And Lacey, it looks like, got hit, maybe poked in the eye or seems to be okay and will stay in.
It looks like she got caught from underneath as she was coming down with that basketball. Yeah, you can see there as Bradford kind of reaches in to poke it free. The follow-through catches Lacey in the face. But tough shooting start for Boston College, so sometimes the best way to shake yourself out of that is to run the floor. Not able to get some free throws as a result of that push.
Deanna Todd makes 2, the freshman returning. This is her third ACC game and was injured right after the game against Rutgers, so had not played in the ACC before returning after missing time due to injury. Corner 3 ball is off the mark from from Malaysia Douglas. And Boston College on the run with Van Timmeren inside. Allie Van Timmeren, who set a season high with 13 points against Louisville on Thursday. And that is taken away. You have to figure turnovers are going to be a defining factor in this game. Both teams high averages in terms of turnovers, but both teams also create a bunch as well.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down season in that regard.
3 ball good for JoJo Lacey. And all of a sudden, the Eagles, after starting 0 of 7 from the floor, have made 2 in a row and have the lead. Whitehorn pull-up jumper, no. And Daly has the rebound for Boston College. Eagles like to run when they can, setting up a Daly 3. Long rebound is out to Whitehorn, the freshman. Looked like she might have slipped on the floor. It was not called. Allowed Hank to get the 3 away, but it's down to Daly.
3 on 2.
Daly gonna take it herself, got into the double team, and is fouled.
Saw Douglas back there, so decided to take it right into her. Smart decision. Check out the nice feed. Lacey knew she had her momentum carrying her out of bounds, but a great presence of mind to find Van Timmeren in the trailer. And then a quick trigger out of the corner to drill the triple.
So Clemson, after starting well from the floor, is 0 of its last 4, and the Eagles have turned it around after an early slow start to take the lead.
You mentioned Van Timmeren coming off that great performance against Louisville. I think that's part of the impetus for Coach Burnaby McNamee to get her into the game early, try to see if she's still, riding that confidence coming off that close loss to Louisville.
Another note for Clemson, already 2 fouls on Amari Robinson for the Tigers. So Clemson's leading scorer, you have to think, will be sitting for quite a bit here in this first half. Deanna Gaines in there for the first time, the sophomore from Columbus, Georgia. Tried to find Hank, and a foul called on the Boston College defense.
Yeah, that's one area that Clemson has struggled with a bit throughout the year, is committing fouls and giving opponents trips to the line.
Got the bump against Todd at the end of it there. Brie Perpignan is in there again, the grad student, after transferring in from Elon. And a good look right at the rim from Gaines, just couldn't finish. Lacey on the run and an offensive foul. So Clemson possession when we come back. Still, though, it's an 8-0 run for Boston College and a 3-point lead. So make sure you stay with us for that. We'll have that at halftime today.
Remember the 2K, 1K club as well.
Elmore in the game for the first time for Clemson, as well as Eno Inyang. And that is out of bounds. So it's kind of an odd start here where Clemson got on the board with the first 5 points. Now they haven't scored in the last 2 minutes as the Eagles have scored 8 straight.
Yeah, it feels like Boston College has amped up their defensive intensity a little bit, making it a little bit tougher for the Tigers to get the ball inside. And, Clemson, not a team that shoots the 3 all that much or all that well Boston College has had some issues shooting the three, but they've come out a little bit more willing to extend themselves against the zone.
Lacey's three ball is well short, and that is going back to the Tigers.
And I mean, it's one thing to shoot the three. Obviously, you're hoping for better results. BC does have the 1 3-pointer, but it feels like whichever team can get some confidence with the outside shot today, that's going to be a huge difference maker in this matchup.
That's a steal. Andrea Daly read that extremely well and has the finish.
And as you noted earlier, turnover is obviously going to be a huge part of the story as well. That was number 4 for Clemson.
Just one on the Boston College side so far. 10-5 lead Eagles. That one ends up hitting Lacey late, and out of bounds it will stay here.
You see he's starting to get the hands in the passing lane. Just a great read by Daly. Tough pass, sort of towards the feet of Gaines that time. And you know, if either of these two teams can get quick and easy offense, they'll take it.
Here's what we're talking about again. Both teams have turned it over, but they've also created a lot of turnovers. So, you know, if you went with turnover margin, it's not as skewed as you might expect for two teams that turn it over as much as they do.
Well, and it depends on the manner of the turnover as well.
That's a good take by Kiana Gaines, the sophomore. Came in as a top 55 recruit to Clemson before last season. And that has created turnover by Perpignan and finishes at the rim. And another one created by Clemson. Bradford got it away. Perpignan couldn't hit from 3. And then the rebound for Van Timmeren was falling and fouled in the process by Clemson.
So here's what I talk about, Eric, when I say not all turnovers are created equal. Here you get a steal and a score right off of the takeaway, and then you get another steal right off of the inbounds. Those are the kind of turnovers that both teams want to avoid today, because those are the ones that lead to direct scoring opportunities. If it's just an unforced error, a bad pass on the offensive end, and you can go and get your defense set up, those are turnovers I think as a coach you'll be okay living with a little bit, because you can still get your defense squared away.
Lacey for 3. Oh, good. Gakdang had a piece of the rebound, but it's down to Hank. Oh, 10-9, Boston in College. Perpignan tried to hand off to Inyang, the sophomore. You know, one of the things for Clemson specifically is playing here in Chestnut Hill for the first time since the 2018-19 season with some of the COVID things and schedules changed. In the game against Notre Dame, as well as Clemson played in that game, they allowed the Irish to get 21 points off turnovers. And that was something that Amanda Butler felt like was the difference in what could have been another special day for Clemson. Whitehorn all the way in.
Great finish through the contact there. Made sure to get both feet down and get that base underneath her as she went to finish.
Mair pull up, and a foul on the rebound goes against Maria Gakdang at Boston College.
And again, this first quarter, we've already seen a couple of big swings of momentum, right? Clemson, that early 5-0 run. BC had the counter, and now it's gone back in the Tigers' favor. So it feels like this is sort of setting the tone for what we're going to be in store for all afternoon.
And by the way, Clemson has reinserted Amari Robinson into the game, playing with 2 fouls. So Amanda Butler sensing maybe a little bit of momentum with a 6-0 run and wanting to take advantage of it. Bradford tried to skip it inside. It somehow got all the way through to Whitehorn, who sets up Robinson.
High level of difficulty on the pass, but it got through. And Robinson in rhythm jumper.
Mair for 3. In and out. And then Whitehorn trying to go on the fast break. And a foul goes against Boston College.
Feet inside, Whitehorn, good composure, able to rip it through to Robinson. That mid-block jumper. Tough foul there to take for Todd. Not only because it's her second, obviously BC again going with a little bit of a shorthanded rotation today. Don't know what they're able to get out of Dontavia Wagner, but it's also the 5th foul in the first quarter. So it's one that comes, 60 feet away from your own basket, an avoidable foul. It's sort of, it's a young player, and that's one of those things that time and situation.
We'll be back in 30 seconds with 1:34 to go in the third as they review that last foul.
I want to be quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. I want to carry 80,000 fans to victory. Nothing major.
So after review, they stuck with the call on the floor, and it is the foul, the second, as you mentioned, against Tiana Todd. And so that sends Whitehorn to the line as the 15th foul against Boston College here in this first quarter. So, as we said, a game of runs. 5 in a row for Clemson, 7 in a row for Boston College. Now it's an 8-0 run for Clemson and make it 9 as Whitehorn, the highest-ranked recruit in the history of the Clemson program, ranked 15th overall by ESPN, coming in as a freshman this year, has 2 at the line. How do the Eagles handle this Clemson pressure with their freshman point guard who, still in her first year, has seen some press, but still not a ton. And it's gaining experience every game. Inside Gakdang. Good footwork to get the roll.
Yeah, I thought she had an opportunity to go up right away. Passed up on that, but was able to reset her feet and still get a good shot.
Whitehorn got all the way in, then trying to pass off. Came away down to Boston College. Daly stopped, got around, and is fouled.
Good little inside-out dribble at the end by Daly. Able to get to the rim. And this is going to be critical for Boston College today, is to get Maria Gakdang going. Good entry feed from Mair. You see off the bump, could have gone up right away, probably gotten free throws. But good composure to get the finish anyway. And again, trying to build her confidence early in a game is going to be huge for BC, because if they get her presence scoring inside to counter what Robinson is doing for Clemson, that's going to give BC a better shot if they can get those outside threes to fall as well.
Haley could not hit at the line. Under a minute to go here in the first quarter. And taken away by Taina Mair. Mair, good pass for JoJo Lacey.
Now that's Mair at her best right there. Quick hands on one end and a great feed for a bucket on the other.
First assist of the game for Mair. Whitehorn to answer, not there. And Boston College can hold for a final shot here in the first.
Eagles have done a really good job of the defensive glass here in this opening 10 minutes. Not a lot of second chance opportunities for Clemson so far.
5 to shoot. Daly with space and got it. So the Eagles get the bucket to close the quarter. On the surface, a 1-point game after the first quarter. Underneath, a whole lot more than that. 2 big assists from Mair. And there is Mair, who's already set a new Boston College team record for total assists, and still a month and a half to go in this first season here at BC.
I mean, that record's going to be out of reach for everybody but Taina Mair for the next couple of years anyway.
Perpignan all the way in, hands off Hank. Nicely done to find the open trailer, and Hank has 4 points. Mair tried to get it inside, was blocked. Could not get it over Eno Inyang, the sophomore setter, and it sets up Bradford, who's off the mark from 3. And a foul on the rebound. It's going to be an over-the-back call against Clemson.
More good work here on the defensive glass. And Timren was squeezed between a couple of Clemson players there and secure the board. Draw a whistle as well.
It's Whitehorn who was called for the foul for Clemson.
It'll be interesting to see if early whistles in this second quarter an impact. Both teams were over the limit in the first 10 minutes.
Mair open 3 ball. Just a little short. And Hanks swinging down on the rebound. Both teams have struggled from behind the arc. Clemson 0 for 6. Boston College 1 for 9. Does that change? No. And Timren for 3. That's good! Feels like the confidence is coming back in Ali Van Timmeren's game as this year has gone on.
Well, that's a confident take right there. Just a handoff. Defenders there. You know, hand down a little bit, but Van Timmeren steps right into the shot. That's a confident take.
Van Timmeren, who set a new season high with 13 points on Thursday at Louisville.
We had a chance to catch up with Coach Burnaby McNamee before the game. Said she's been shooting the heck out of the ball in practice. And sometimes with great shooters, once those floodgates open, there you go.
Averaging 9.3 points per game over her last 4 coming in. Gakdang inside. Got the offensive rebound and good. 4 for Maria Gakdang.
Good early entry pass there from Mair to put her in good position as well.
Bradford on the drive. Got it to go. It was contact underneath. The officials decided to let it go both ways. And Nunu Bradford, the senior, 3 points. Clemson within 2. Mair could not get the floater over top of Michaela Elmore, the sophomore.
They just tried to do a little bit too much on that possession. Right idea to drive against the zone, but then needed to find someone to dish it out to.
Oh, it looked like that time Whitehorn actually had the open 3, passed it up. Robinson got inside, floater, good.
Excellent footwork there by Robinson. Able to curl around Gakdang and then able to navigate her way to the cup past Van Timmeren as well.
And then an offensive foul called on Boston College and Taina Mair. So Clemson will get possession back.
First, check out the composure by Gakdang. First one doesn't go. Sky over everybody. Get the second one. And then this has been Clemson's go-to. Find Amari Robinson. Great first step. Great second step, great third step, and then the finish on top of it all.
So a tie game after the first foul on Mair. Douglas for Elmore. Now Robinson inside. Gakdang did a nice job defensively to not allow the easy putback.
Smart by Daly there to pull it out. Good quick transition defense by Clemson to collapse there. They've switched out of the zone, it looks like, or gone into more of a half-court trap.
Seven to shoot, Boston College. Tied, long 2 is a bit strong.
Right idea, trying to get the shot blocker out of the way and then reset. Get a look in closer, just didn't get anything onto the rim that time.
It has been a game of runs, as we've talked about. Been pretty competitive here in the second after felt like there were moments where Clemson was going on a scoring run, moments where Boston College got through the gates and swung on a run of their own. And now tied with 5:33 to go in the second.
Going to be interesting. Would like to see Boston College, I think, go at Robinson a little bit more on the defensive end after those 2 first-quarter fouls. See if you can't get her a permanent seat on the bench for the first half.
That's a nice, quick inbounds play to draw the foul. Yeah, Robinson's been out there quite a bit considering how early she picked up that second foul. That last one was called on Allie Van Timmeren for Boston College.
Yeah, it just got lost on the screen, and I think Coach Weller recognizing the same thing as well. Going to get Robinson out of the game here. Going to gamble over this next 5:30. Maybe bring her back on if the offense goes into another slump, but if you can get her into the third quarter with only 2 fouls, that'll be a win for Clemson. You look at the group they've got on the floor right now, and you kind of wonder where they will go for offense. I mean, it's really got to be Bradford at this point, unless she's coming out. Perpignan's waiting to check back in.
1 of 2 at the line to give Clemson the lead. And it is Bradford who comes out.
So Perpignan's your only starter on the floor right now.
Clemson, who went 10 deep in the game against Notre Dame, and all 10 scored in the 3-point loss. Todd trying to pick up the handle. Shot clock running down. Mair for 3 is good.
Now the Taina Mair section to our left, love that one. But that's bailout offense from the freshman, just sort of passing the ball around against the zone. And, you know, it's a good shot, it's a good finish, but it is a little bit lucky.
First effort, no. Second effort, no. Third effort, yes. And the foul for Elmore.
Well, for all the good work that Boston College has done on the defensive boards, they get caught here. And Elmore makes him pay and has a chance for a 3-point play. Taina Mair taking it right.
ACC Network Extra for that. So many former players are here. We've seen them all around the building all day. So many alums are back, and it'll be great to see the history of the program honored here at halftime. That is thrown away. Good pressure defense from Clemson. Perpignan again on the drive, and a blocking foul will go against Ava McGee, who checked into the game for the first time for BC.
Yeah, we talked about the foul trouble for Amari Robinson, obviously Clemson's leading scorer, but BC, again, Dontavia Wagner, not sure if she's going to be able to go today. Haven't seen her yet, and the Eagles right now in a little bit of foul trouble.
Shot at the rim was no good. And Boston College on the run, 2-on-2. Inside Gakdang, and a whistle and a foul will go against Clemson. The initial contact went uncalled, but then on the second effort, Gakdang draws the foul.
Yeah, I don't know if this was just a late whistle, perhaps, but it certainly looked like there was a lot of contact on the initial try. The handoff, nice find again by Mair. Yeah, a lot of bumping going on as Gakdang went up there, so I think maybe just a late whistle.
Foul went against Michaela Elmore. Gakdang is 0 for 2 at the line, but got the rebound out of it. And BC gets another shot. Mair, kick to Lacey, 3 ball. A little bit short. Whistle, and that's a reach-in foul on, it's actually JoJo Lacey who's called for the foul. So it is the second foul on Lacey. And again, the Eagles, remember, have been without Dontavia Wagner so far today. Boston College's leading scorer, ACC Player of the Week a couple of weeks ago for her performances and wins against NC State and Florida State.
I think Joanna Burnaby-McNamee's got no choice here now. She's got to roll the dice with somebody, whether it's Lacey or Todd or Daly. Somebody's going to have to play. Maybe more than one of them is going to have to play the rest of this half with 2 fouls. So critical that BC takes care of things on the defensive end. Maybe even more critical that they try to find some way to get the offense going here.
Lacey, entrance for Gakdang. It's a little too tall, but it was last touched by Clemson.
It's a great alley-oop pass. Gakdang not able to go up and flush it, unfortunately.
Nine to shoot, BC. Van Timmeren is no good from 3. Offensive rebound. Lacey was swatted away.
That's another one where Lacey's expecting a call. Can understand why. A lot of contact went right back into the body of the defender.
Lacey with 2 to shoot. Tough angled shot, no. And the Eagles, who had a few cracks at it that possession, come away empty. Corner 3 is good. Michaela Elmore. Ball on the floor, taken away, Douglas. And they called that a held ball, which will give possession to Boston College.
Great drive and dish by Perpignan, and Elmore showing off the range. It's been all Clemson coming out of the timeout. 5-0 run, and then Douglas, great scrappiness getting on the floor there, and then looked like Mair had 2 hands on the back at first, but I guess didn't get a hand in there on the ball before Douglas could call timeout.
Now Boston College will inbound. Like there was some confusion about where the inbound was coming. Daly is going to trigger it in. So to your point, Joanna Burnaby-McNamee has Daly out there and Lacey out there playing with 2 fouls for BC.
I
by
think
5.
She just needs the offense, really. I mean, just not enough weapons scoring-wise for BC.
And that is called an offensive foul on Mair.
That's the second one she's picked up.
Oh, it's pressure defense from Douglas, and they're basically calling when her arm gets hooked. That's what they've called. Second time they've called it.
It's a tough call, but it's the right call. I mean, you can clearly see Mair takes her off arm and wraps it around the arm of Douglas to be able to create that angle. So really good ball pressure by Douglas. BC's got to find a way to get Mair some help in the backcourt. She's getting a breather now, so now you wonder who's going to be bringing the ball up the floor. This is sort of a cue for Clemson to put more pressure on.
3 ball, good from the corner. Bradford. And Clemson with its largest lead of the game.
How about that? Tigers start 0 for 7 from deep. They knock down back-to-back threes, and all of a sudden, even just an 8-point game feels like a huge mountain to climb.
Todd on the drive, trying to find someone. And a foul on Bradford on the reach against JoJo Lacey.
She was trying to dive for that loose ball, missed, and then ended up tripping Lacey. She went to pick it up.
The one other situation this year when Boston College had to deal with Taina Mair in foul trouble, so not having their point guard, was against UAlbany in the game that came back on December 10th. And JoJo Lacey in that game really did a nice job running the offense. And we've talked about it this year with Boston College. They do not have a true point guard outside of Mair because of some injuries this year, and Kayla Ivey out for the year. Bradford for 3 again is short, and the rebound to Gakdang. Lacey on the run for BC, got all the way in, couldn't hit the layup, and the foul on Van Timmeren following it up, and that's going to be 2 on Van Timmeren.
I mean, at this point, you're looking at almost everybody in a Boston College uniform is going to have 2 fouls here by the end of the first half. You know, right idea by Van Timmeren trying to go in for the follow-up here, just ends up colliding with Gaines. If you're Boston College, you have to try to be a little bit more disciplined. And it's one thing if you commit a foul trying to prevent a basket. That's one thing. But there are avoidable fouls. You know, we talked about one with Todd back in the first quarter, you know, trying to buy a charge 60 feet away on, you know, a play where the ball's still kind of in a scramble. There, both of her fouls coming on the offensive end. You know, those are avoidable fouls. So, I have to do a little bit better job. And you know, I'm sure Boston College is also hoping to a certain extent that, you know, maybe the whistles get swallowed a little bit in the second half too.
So at the line is In-Yang. And this is something that Boston College has dealt with over the last few games. In their 3-game losing streak here, the Eagles have allowed opponents to shoot on average 26 free throw attempts per contest. Couple of the line, and the lead is 10 for Clemson.
Yeah, it's been more of a persistent problem for Clemson throughout the year, but as you said, it's sort of become a tough trend for BC.
And it's turned over here, and this is where Clemson's pressure without a point guard on the floor for BC can prove to be a big weapon. Runner just does everything but go, and then a foul is called on Whitehorn. That's the second on Whitehorn. So for Clemson, you have Robinson with 2 and Whitehorn for 2. And it's interesting here that as Boston College is dealing with all these folks with 2 fouls, who Coach Max is going to mix and match and have on the bench versus who is going to play. And especially without the point guard Mair. Overall, it's a 12-0 Clemson run, and if you go back farther, it's 17-3 over the last 6 minutes and 28 seconds of game time.
Yeah, obviously with no Mair on the floor, that's big for Clemson to pick up the pressure. You know, there was a significant stretch there where BC went cold on offense, where it was really just Mair and Gakteng as the only offensive options on the floor.
That's a traveling call against Andrea Daly.
You know, part of the problem for BC right now is with no Dontavia Wagner, it really limits who is available and who is capable of giving them consistent offense. You know, that's been a problem throughout the year, even with Wagner out there. But then you subtract the leading scorer out of the mix, that changes where the defense can put its focus. So, you know, everybody else has to try to step up and do a little bit more. And that's been an issue here for BC in the second quarter.
Lacey in the passing lane and knocks it out of bounds. Well, Clemson has to feel like this is a step on the throat moment, and for Boston College, it's just trying to get out of Dodge, keep it at 10 at worst, and then reset in the locker room.
Yeah, BC's just in survival mode right now. Get to halftime, reset, and try and reestablish things in the third quarter.
Lacey got a piece, but it bounced right back to Gaines. Lacey reaching again, and that's a shot clock violation against Clemson. Remember, that's Lacey with 2 fouls, continuing to get pressure and caused the exploration of the timer.
Here comes Douglas, who's been probably their best in terms of pressuring the ball back in for Clemson. Yeah, gutsy defense by Lacey, giving Clemson a little bit of a taste of its own medicine.
And Mair is back in here for this final possession for BC.
Gotta be careful, nearly a push off there.
The arm. Todd, 3 to shoot, try to get it inside to Gakteng, bounce to Lacey. That would count, and it goes!
Well, JoJo Lacey looks like she knew it was going all the way. How many times do you practice this? Out in the park, out in the driveway, toss the ball toward the sideline, you go sprinting over, fade away, better positioned to score around the basket. They've got to get a little bit more consistency on the offensive end and hope that they don't drop more whistles here in the third
20
quarter.
minutes to go. Just remember, as we start this third quarter, the difference between 34-24 and 34-27 may prove very important as we go through. Whitehorn starting for Clemson. Rebound belongs to the Eagles. And BC did have its starting five out there. Lacey, 3-ball, no good. Robinson's out there with 2 fouls along with Whitehorn for Clemson. Lacey, Van Timmeren, Mair, Daly, and Todd all have 2 for Boston College. 3-ball from Robinson is no good. Remember, the Eagles have not had Dontavia Wagner today. We were told it is a possibility that she may be available, but did not start, and we have not seen her since. Lacey decides to kick inside for Gakdang. Very nice give and go.
Well, you mentioned when Mair went to the bench for BC late in that second quarter that Lacey's done a good job of running the offense at times, and that was a point guard-esque play from her there.
Perpignan got the skip pass inside. Robinson, yes. Amari Robinson with 8 points. Played most of that first half with 2 fouls, and all things considered, she played quite a bit of minutes in that first half on 2.
Yeah, I think the coaches did a good job of sort of spotting her, picking their moments. She was used as sort of an offensive-defensive sub late in the second quarter.
Lacey for 3. That's a little strong. Long rebound. Mair got it back from Perpignan. Todd for 3. That's good. First 3 since coming back from injury for Tiana Todd.
That's a huge hustle play by Taina Mair.
Robinson could not get it over Daly.
These are the plays you have to make to win basketball games, right? 50-50 ball. Mair wins it. Simple little driving kick. Open look for Todd. See if that gets her confidence going a little bit.
Todd, who was injured in practice after the game against Rutgers back on November 30th, returned for the first time against Virginia last Sunday. It's always got to be a little bit of rust, especially when you consider, you're just getting in the flow of your freshman season about a month in. That pull-up from Robinson short. Then all of a sudden it stops for a month, and then you got to get back into the flow and do it in conference play. Makes it all the more difficult.
And now she's got to do it playing with 3 fouls. Just didn't get a good enough box out there on Whitehorn. Ended up taking her down. So again, early entry for Van Timmeren. Felt like Van Timmeren could have been used a little bit more, especially offensively by BC. Her ability to knock down the outside shot came in, hit her first 3. And it just felt like there was some opportunity there, especially against the zone.
Lacey was out of bounds.
Whitehorn had the touch with the ball on the line.
So it's Boston College possession. Yeah, you're right.
It was good defense from Lacey.
Like both players were going for it. Whitehorn on the floor. She's the one who's called. So BC possession. And trying to get through this Clemson pressure. Down by 4. Another 3 try. It's a good look from Lacey. It just did not go. JoJo just 2 of 9 from behind the arc today, but has maybe the biggest shot of the game so far. Whitehorn gave it up. Hank on the drive. Out for Robinson. That was too strong from the free throw line. Mair all the way in. Got it off to Lacey. JoJo trying to make something happen. Did not get the roll. And Douglas came away with the ball loose. Clemson's gone over 2 minutes without scoring here in the beginning of the second half. Robinson, extra pass. Perpignan, good. 7 for Brie Perpignan, the grad student from Maryland by way of Elon. Mair's floater rolls off. Other end, counted and a foul.
Well, this is what you needed to shake off the little drought if you're Clemson. Very unselfish here. How often do you see Robinson give up that shot right around the basket? Almost never. But trust Perpignan to knock down the three. She does that. And then good transition play. Go right to the basket. Force the issue on Van Timmeren. Tries to avoid fouling, but Perpignan says, I'm going to force the contact, get a chance for three.
So Perpignan makes the free throw. And Clemson now has re-established that 10-point lead. 6 points in a row for the Tigers.
Here comes that full court press again.
All thrown away. Good defense. I mean, there's so much pressure. And when you're playing with foul trouble, it just kind of ratchets everything up with what the Tigers do defensively.
But see, that was an instance where Lacey did the exact right thing right up until the final decision to pass. She's able to dribble her way all the way through it. She gets into the mid-block and then decides to try to kick it out. At that point, once you're in that spot, you're looking for somebody to drop it to in the paint, or you're in good enough to position to take a shot yourself.
And a foul called. It looked like it was on the defensive Eno Inyang. Actually, they called the foul on Inyang. And here comes Dontavia Wagner into the game for Boston College. So we thought at some point, if it was needed, Coach Mack might go to it, and down by 10 with 5:54 to go in the third. That's the moment that Wagner comes in this game.
Now the question is, what is her impact? I mean, she's been sitting and watching for 24 minutes. You know, warm-ups were an hour and a half ago. You know, how fresh is she? You know, even you go on the exercise bike on the side, it's only able to do so much. So, you know, what is Wagner able to give here? What does BC ask of her to do in this spot?
The lead is 10 for Clemson. Wagner kicks over for JoJo Lacey. Kept the handle on it. JoJo travel.
And have a chance to get rid of that ball. And BC just needing a little bit more movement there offensively.
Lacey will switch out for Van Timmeren.
It's like Wagner's gonna, it looked like she was gonna jump in on Robinson there.
Robinson elbow jumper, yes. Largest lead of the game for Clemson at 12. Van Timmeren stepped out of bounds. Eagles will switch in Daly and Todd for McGee and Gakdang.
12 turnovers now for BC.
All things considered, the turnover number actually has not been as high as it has been in some games for these two teams.
Well, still 15 minutes left, and it feels like there's still some hectic pace that's going to be reached. You know, it feels like BC is going to be forced into pressuring at some point. Already seen plenty of ball pressure from Clemson.
Double team came, so the back door was open, and Eno Inyang with 4 points.
Clemson doing a really good job dicing up Boston College's defense right now.
10 points in a row for the Tigers. Daly on the drive, kicks to Wagner, open jumper is good. And Dontavia on the board for the first time.
Yeah, if they can get her those kind of looks, She can knock down those shots in rhythm, but right now you can see BC trying to figure out their assignments on the defensive end.
Wagner, who's increased her points per game from last year by 11 points per contest, as she's become the leading scorer for BC. Inside and a foul.
It's going to be 4 on either Van Timmeren or Todd, one or the other.
Boston College closed it to 4, but Clemson has brought it back out.
A little bit there, and if you're Clemson, this is a pretty good scoreboard to look at, right? Most of the top teams coming up victorious today, so that's an opportunity for Clemson should, they hold on here through the next 14 minutes to sort of inch their way up the standings a little bit.
Tigers 3-5 in ACC play, same record as Boston College so far this year. Now, one thing we've seen from Clemson is they've given some game efforts to some really good teams. We talked about Notre Dame, lost by 10 to Duke going back to last week, and a victory over number 7 Virginia Tech earlier this year. First win over a top 10 team since 2000. Wagner traveled there for Boston College.
And I think we've seen, on display today, some of the reasons why Clemson has been a tough out in ACC play. They're a deep team. They throw a lot of different players at you, so it can be very tough to scout. As good as Robinson is, I wouldn't say that there's necessarily one person that you say, we need to shut this player down. Pressure defense can give teams fits. They force a lot of turnovers, a lot of ball pressure up top with the guards, so that can give a lot of teams issues.
Bradford, too high on the drive. Looked like she's almost getting that as a pass to herself, maybe. Didn't think she had much. Does manage to get it back. Timer never reset. And BC the rebound. Mair, fastball inside for Daly. Extra pass for Wagner. You see that, just that little hesitation allowed the reach from Perpignan, and then Perpignan ends up committing the foul, which is her 3rd.
I think that's one Daly's got to go up with there. Get the ball right under the basket. Throw a shot fake, get the defender off balance, draw contact, try to get 3. But that's a great entry pass by Mair. It just feels like BC has left some things on the table against the zone. Whether it's trying to overload and get Van Timmeren looks from the outside, whether it's been Mair trying to drive into the defense and then hand off. Just feels like there's been some missed opportunities.
Gakdang blocked from behind by Inyang.
See, this is better. It feels like this play has been there for BC. A couple times Gakdang's been able to finish. Good poke, though, by Inyang from behind after she was beaten on the initial pass.
Robinson tried to throw it inside, and a blocking foul is called. And then Gakdang and Inyang both reaching for the ball at the end. Both kind of had a hold of it. Well, you can see what Coach Mack wanted.
Yeah, she's not going to win the debate, though. You can see Van Timmeren's going to slide over here at the last second. Just never gets the feet set.
Still moving.
And so that's 4 on her now. Only a quick breather there for Wagner. Foul concerns have not alleviated here for BC in the 3rd. These inbounds plays have been well designed by Clemson. They've got a couple of open looks off of them.
Eagles get a steal here. Since Todd hit the 3-pointer to cut it to a 4-point game, Clemson's on an 11-2 run. Perpignan trying to extend it, could not, was a little strong, and the rebound's down to Dontavia Wagner. Lacey got it off Daly and is fouled.
Good push, numbers up the floor, recognition by Wagner. Nice transition defense by Mair after she gave up the turnover. Able to get back and play some Ole defense on Perpignan, force the miss. Wagner sees the teammates up ahead and It's one you'd want back if you're Daly.
Andrea Daly, who started the season coming off the bench for Boston College, and 4 games into the year, in the starting lineup, she started 18 in a row now, and just was so consistently posting numbers. Scored 10 points 12 times this year. Last 2 games finally started to run into some lower scoring performances, and have to start to adjust as you move higher up the scout for the opponents. They're going to adjust to you defensively, and you have to kind of adjust back in season.
Yeah, I think it's tough. I mean, obviously, when you have players taking on a bigger role, there's a reason that they have success. And then sometimes when the role increases, you start to get away from the things that made you successful. And so I think you just sort of have to get back to what your bread and butter is.
Bradford drills a 3. 10 points for Bradford. And the Clemson lead is back to its largest point at 14.
Now, he said whichever team was going to sort of get a little bit of a boost from behind the arc was going to be the team that's had the edge today. Both teams have ended up struggling with it, so.
Dang working hard inside and is fouled.
It's whoever's hitting in the moment is who's taking control of the game, and right now it's Bradford knocking down her 2nd of the day. Wagner helping out. That opens up the 3. Leave it hanging. Lets the BC fans know about it too.
Dang, who is just a 53% free throw shooter this year. Eagles have not made a shot from the floor in nearly 3 minutes of game time. And Dang 0 for 2 at the line. Perpignan again is out in transition. Clemson's quickly gotten down the floor out of a miss. Hank was wide open. It's too good not to take it.
Right. I mean, the bench is screaming at her to shoot the ball. She's open for about 10 seconds there before she let it go.
1:15 to go in the 3rd, and the Eagles will inbound in front of their own bench. Malaysia Douglas back into the game, the junior from Omaha. Even as a transfer by way of Western Nebraska Community College. One of 2 former first-team All-Americans at the junior college level on this Clemson roster. New Bradford as well. And there is a foul on Douglas. The 5th foul on Clemson here in this 3rd quarter, so the Eagles will shoot the final 105. Taina Mair to the line. It's 4 points offensively for Mair today. Does have 5 assists though.
And really, for pretty much everybody for BC, it just feels like they're having to scratch and claw and fight for every opportunity to score. Clemson's just found, more opportunities to get easy baskets, whether it's because of pushing the basketball, whether it's been, just some of their efficiency in the half court, finding open players underneath, opportunities for extra points at the line, a couple of 3-point plays. And in some of these games, those little things make all the difference.
Traveling called here against Whitehorn. So again, we're in a similar spot to what we were talking about at the end of the 2nd quarter. Gone over to the monitor quick. Mark Resch, our referee, getting something sorted out at the scorer's table. But we talked about it at the end of the 2nd quarter. Okay, what happens in this final minute? Kind of changed the momentum going in. The Eagles, who just scored the most recent 2 points on the free throws, get something here and defend, start to get a little closer, whereas Clemson trying to stretch it out once again at the end of the quarter. Wagner, who's played since the midway point of the 3rd, throws it away. Miscommunication with Lacey, and Wagner comes from behind and blocks the shot from Douglas.
Didn't realize Wagner was tracking her down there. Good extension. Nothing easy.
So a 10-second difference between the timer and the game here at the end of the third. Good inbounds play. Bradford wide open. And nearly turned over again, but JoJo Lacey on it for BC. 53-38 lead for Clemson on the fifth three-pointer for the Tigers. That jumper is good. Ava McGee, her first 2 points of the game. 2 seconds ago, Douglas probably had an extra second, put it up anyway. So it's a 13-point lead for Clemson at the end of 3. An excellent inbounds play, and Bradford delivers the strike to make it a double-digit lead and trigger it in. Pass was into the backcourt and ends up working out. And this Clemson pressure has been a big theme of this game so far this afternoon. Tigers, and they've certainly created turnovers. Eagles have turned it over 15 times, but to me, Ben, it's felt more about, rather than the turnovers created, just the pressure and the sort of mental hurdle that the Eagles have had to go through getting the ball up the floor.
Yeah, and it hasn't been consistent throughout the entire game, right? They're not going full court press with every single possession. I think they've timed it well. Obviously put a lot of pressure on the ball when Mair was off the floor there at the end of the second quarter.
Foul away from the ball. It was Maria Gactang coming together with Amari Robinson. And the foul goes against Gactang, which is her second.
Here's another situation, right? Stoppage. They get a play design on these underneath out of bounds. A lot of these have been just simple screens, cross screens that BC has just gotten their assignments lost on.
Whitehorn off a quick inbounds. And the Tigers will set up with 13 on the timer. A 13-point lead for Clemson. Eagles got it as close as 4 early in this second half. Douglas was blocked. Ends up right down with Maria Gactang. Eagles on the run. The pass for Daly skips off. There was some debate about who that was off of, and I think the officials did get that right. It was off Daly.
Yeah, double deflection. Daly was the last one who got a piece of it, but the official furthest up the floor didn't see that one. That's why they work as a team, just like us.
That's right. Can't review it till under 2 minutes, so they just have to talk and figure it out. Clemson is used to timeout here with 9:02 to go in the fourth quarter. And we'll step aside once again. Still a 13-point lead for Clemson. Minute in to the fourth.
Just the opponent sort of laying down. Obviously, you had to do something right. And I think in both instances, it was really good defense. It started on the defensive end.
Eagles get a steal and the foul on Robinson. Credit to Amari Robinson. She picked up that second foul within 3 minutes in the first quarter, and that was finally her third.
Good job by Daly just going up and attacking that basketball in the elevated pass. We're seeing BC start to have to force the pressure a little bit on the defensive end. They need to try to generate some turnovers, some easy buckets if they can do it.
Mair pull up. Oh, good. And the rebound, Gactang got knocked down in the process, but it's out of bounds clean and will stay here with Boston College.
Lost the shoe, too.
Is there any more pressure than having to tie your shoe effectively with 1,000+ people watching you?
Just like riding a bike, right?
Gakdeng gets it done well. Mess up the loop, you're getting booed. I mean, you know.
You boo someone tying your shoe, I feel like that's a personal thing that needs to be addressed.
McGee, pass was too high. It's been an odd start to this fourth quarter where already had coaches call both timeouts. We haven't had any media windows, so you had to use up all the media windows there. So we've only played 90 seconds of the fourth quarter. No points have been scored so far.
Couple of turnovers really as well. Nobody has really gotten any rhythm.
The 17-6 run for Clemson since Boston College cut it to 4, and that's a traveling violation against the Tigers. Feels like there is another run to be had here.
Question is by who?
That's right.
You know, even a mini run for Clemson pretty much puts this game away. Boston College can string a couple buckets together. All of a sudden, the pressure amps up a little bit on the Tigers.
Mair got inside, tried to find a pass, and that play has just been taken away by Clemson today. But Mair makes up for it. Corner 3, and it's back to a 10-point game.
Well, credit McGee for saving that possession there after Mair's pass was blocked.
Whitehorn over for Hank. Tried to slip it back in, and the trailer Robinson has 12.
Really good interior passing there between two seniors. Done that on the practice floor a few times.
Mair, another one. Off the mark from 3. McGee chases it down for BC and then wisely plays it off of Hannah Hank to keep possession with Boston College.
And it feels like this is what BC needs some more of, right? Penetrate the zone. Okay, that time the pass gets blocked, but good save by McGee. Nice find. Mair open, knocks down the corner 3. Good confident shot.
Mair, extra pass. Lacey for 3 is off. Offensive rebound, though. Daly. And again, trying to give it up to Gakdeng, and it was knocked out of bounds, but it stays here again.
I mean, right idea, handing it off. Gakdeng's just got to be able to gather that in. I mean, she's got Robinson on her back.
Daly for 3. That's off the mark. And a long rebound out to Perpignan. That is affected by Mair. Perpignan got it back. Cycled around, turned over to Lacey. Dojo thought about it. Instead, inside of the double team beats Gakdeng.
Yeah, just a little bit of a force that time. Gakdeng was available, but had a couple of bodies right in her area. And again, just couldn't make a clean catch of that pass.
Hank for 3. In and out. Mair trying to push the tempo. And that play has just not worked today. Clemson's done a really good job getting back and taking away that stretch play.
Yeah, I understand the time here, you know, down by 12, you have to start to pick up the pace, pick up the tempo if you're Boston College and you're looking for any way you can get easy baskets, but there's just too many bodies in the way that time between Mair and Lacey as she tries to make that pass.
Other pass was affected, but it does end up with Daly. You know, you said it earlier. You said Clemson's made everything hard.
And part of what we talked to, you know, with Coach McNamee ahead of the game has come to fruition, which is, look, we're going to see zone. We can't get stuck just passing the ball. And sometimes that's what the zone does. It makes you sit and think. And that's what Boston College has fallen into a couple times today, where they're just stationary, moving the ball wing to wing to the top. Not enough movement off the ball.
McGee looking for help. 7 to shoot, and a travel on Mair.
Caught it and shuffled the feet. That's the right call.
You see the turnover numbers starting to mount. Again, it's both sides of it, right? Because both of these teams, as we talked about, turn it over a bunch, but they're also 2 of the 4 best teams in the ACC in causing turnovers. Lead is 11. It's now 13.
And I think Clemson's done a really good job of just finding a few things, especially in the half court, that they can have success with. You know, whether it's been those inbounds plays to get easy baskets. When Van Timren's in, they've attacked her in the post. They felt that there's a vulnerability there.
Air for 3, no good. My mistake, I gypped him a point on my board. It's 14, the lead for Clemson.
Van Timren just fouled out.
Well, the foul trouble, which was mounting at the end of the second quarter, seemed like it was going to be an issue on both sides at some point. And Allie Van Timren is called for her 5th foul.
He's going to use the opportunity to get the minute that you have to make the sub when a player fouls out. Use it as essentially a free timeout.
Boston College putting a little bit of pressure on. Here is Ott for 3. A little short from Maddie Ott, the sophomore from Frisco, Texas.
I don't know that you need that shot there.
Mair got inside, has Wagner back into the game for BC, and Dontavia Wagner is fouled.
I mean, I get that you push the ball up, you beat the press. It's a wide open 3, okay. But when you know you have a team on the ropes and their only hope of getting back in the game is to increase the tempo, what you want to do is slow the tempo down. And I know that's probably a little bit tough for Clemson because they're used to playing at a little bit of a higher pace, especially on the defensive end. But, I mean, that's a free, empty possession for BC defensively.
Wagner, who makes both. Again, Dontavia Wagner playing hurt today. Did not play in the first half. Came in for a bit in the third, and that is a foul on the defense on Daly on the Clemson drive.
Just didn't quite get the angle she needed on Robinson here. Want to use the sideline as that second defender, tried to sell the push, but just needed to get, another half step deeper, create that angle to really force Robinson to try to walk the tightrope as she's coming up the sideline.
Still on the side rather than in front, and it's not going to lead to the call in the same way. Kick to the corner. It ended up with Robinson off a deflection and an offensive foul called on Clemson.
That's on Inyang. See this all the time, right? Player drives, kicks the ball out, but just keeps on going on their path. Somebody jumps in front. And credit Wagner, she knows she's not playing at 100% right now. She steps in front, takes the contact, and hits the deck.
Wagner's played 6 minutes so far today. Gutting it out for her team as the Eagles trying to find a comeback. Wagner fouled. So there's going to be a line here, right, for Clemson over the final 4:19, as that's already the 4th foul of this 4th quarter on Clemson. So the Tigers like to pressure. They like to trap. They like to do a lot of those things. But now any foul puts BC on the line with the Eagles trailing by 12.
Yeah, I think this is the point in time where you can still pressure up the floor, but maybe it's just Douglas, right? Maybe it's only one player.
Pass inside. Todd manages to get it off the deflection. 6 to shoot. Wagner bobbled, got it back inside. Great move, couldn't finish, got it back, and is fouled.
And that's where Wagner has made a difference this year, right? Just the quick ability to stay in a play. Knew that the first shot was going to go wild. Just trying to throw up anything to catch the rim late in the shot clock. She navigates around Robinson, but that's what's made her so successful this year, that ability to stay in the play. Quick hands to the ball. Now BC has to try to find a way to take advantage of the line.
Montavia has been one of the Eagles' best free throw shooters, 1 of 2 here. BC just 10 of 18 from the line today. But they are within 11. Hasn't been any kind of major run, but it's held right about between 14 and 11. Inside, Bradford, no. Affected at the rim by Todd. Out in front, Daly stops, goes up, and gets it. Single digits with 3:33 to go. Eagles putting the pressure on. Robinson kicks to the corner. Whitehorn. That was a long 2. Gacktang the rebound for BC.
And again, settling for a jumper early in the shot clock.
Todd, wide open 3 is too strong.
Well, if that goes down, you're getting a timeout.
It's obviously a little early in the clock, but I mean, it's wide open. You can't pass it up. So Clemson now has not scored in over 2 minutes. And the Eagles within 9 for the first time in a while. Bradford, give and go Robinson, put the head down, and that's an offensive foul, and that's 4 on Robinson.
And guess who draws it? Dontavia Wagner. Just a huge, huge tip of the cap. I mean, gutting it out, just giving whatever she can. You know, knows she's not able to sort of lift the team the way she has for most of the year, but terrific effort in the minutes that she has been able to give.
.240 to go. Nearly turned over. Hank got a piece. Todd is fouled. And for Hank now, that is 4 fouls on Hannah Hank.
Smart there by Todd. Knew that Hank is coming to close out. Just a quick little dribble to the side. Knows that the defender's not going to be able to slide back into legal guarding position. So you force the contact. And as long as you don't extend with the off arm there, there's no way you'll ever get called for an offensive foul. I guarantee you.
So it's Todd at the line. 6 points for Todd. So here's the foul situation. First for Clemson. So Robinson on 4, Hank on 4, Inyang and Perpignan on 3. As Todd makes both at the line. BC is within 7. They've scored 7 points in a row. That was almost a travel. It ended up a turnover.
Now, BC going offense for defense here with Lacey and Wagner. Lacey gives them a little bit more outside shooting. And Wagner gives them that defensive ability to turn it over.
Gacktang inside, kick out Todd, 3 ball is no good. Offensive rebound, Daly, who couldn't finish.
Yeah, that's one where you don't mind if she kicks it back out. There's just so many bodies underneath. It was going to be tough to find the angle on that putback.
1:45 to go. Clemson up 7 and a timeout. Amanda Butler.
That's a good timeout. That possession was falling apart.
Tigers have not scored in 3.5 minutes as BC has gone on a 7-0 run to bring this game back to 7.
Well, we said there was another run coming. We just didn't know who was going to be by. And BC has given themselves at least a window to try to get something done. The problem is, for Boston College, they have just not been able to make a shot today. And the shooting percentages have gotten successively worse.
I mean, on this run, they're on a 7-0 run, but one of their last 9 from the floor. They've been getting to the line.
And they're still getting some good looks. I would say over this stretch, most of those threes by Todd, those are good looks. You don't mind those shots, just not able to get them to fall. And if that's what ends up sort of being the difference maker, just the fact that you couldn't knock down some open looks, that's a tough pill to swallow.
10 to shoot out of the timeout for Clemson. Robinson, oh, what a bounce pass, but then Daly commits the foul.
I really wanted to bother the shot there. Daly, good elevation, but can't keep herself from committing the contact there. You can see a really good entry pass, acting out of position.
It's the 4th foul on Daly. So Todd and Daly with 4. Van Timmeren has fouled out. And Bradford makes the first free throw. Clemson is 11 for 15 at the foul line today.
BC has left a couple of extra points on the table from the charity stripe as well.
Second one, good.
Now you really got to push. Even with the ball pressure.
9-point lead.
Even with ball pressure, you can't afford to sit around.
Yep. 90 seconds to go. Mair, pull-up jumper is good. Long 2. Taina Mair up to 10 points. Whitehorn was out in front. Daly may have gotten a piece. Tough battle for the ball. It's Boston College's. With 1:05 left, down by 7.
Oh, Lacey's open.
Lacey for 3. Little bit short. Mair nearly got the turnover. And it's Clemson ball. And a foul called, and then maybe a little after the fact.
Perpignan taking some exception to the grab from Lacey.
Here's that whole sequence. Thought it might go out of bounds there. It was saved.
That's been the difference today. That's a good shot. It's as good a shot as you'll get in that situation. You have to take it. And it just doesn't go.
And Clemson has made its free throws. Two at the line for Brie Perpignan. She has 12 points in the game and a timeout. Boston College, as Clemson has taken the lead back to 9.
As the old saying, a day late, $1 short. That's what it feels like is in the cards here for Boston College. Not enough shots falling. Not taking enough advantage of the foul situation, especially in the first half when you got to the line a lot. Clemson, just a little bit better execution, especially in the half court offensively, and that has made all the difference in this ball game. Trends have held in terms of turnovers. Both teams have caused turnovers. Both teams have forced turnovers. There hasn't been a significant advantage in terms of the scoring off turnovers. It's +4 in favor of BC, but I think part of that has had to do with the sequences we've seen here over the last few minutes. So really, it has all come down to offensive execution, and Clemson has just been a little bit better today.
Mair, the inbound. Wonder if she gets it right back. She does. 3 ball is short. Rebound loose. Bouncing down. It's Hank who comes away with it for Clemson. Bradford into the front court and scores to make it a double-digit lead again. And that might just about do it. Mair got a force. 3 ball, good. That's a good-looking shot for Taina Mair. And the Eagles not going down easily as it's back to 8.
Yeah, it's tough to see, down the stretch. Mair has hit some shots. And you almost wonder, we talked about her unselfishness, already setting an assist record at Boston College. And for a young group, you like to see her ability to get other people involved. We almost wonder if you start to have to use her a little bit more scoring the basketball. She can be so deadly in pick and pop situations, can use Van Timmeren's ability to knock down the outside shot as well and put the defense in some tough situations. Maybe something you have to try to look at going forward.
Well, certainly her points have increased, as we've seen. And early on, as a freshman who's basically playing every minute she could possibly be out there for Boston College. And, early on in the season, the assists certainly adding up. But now the points starting to come as well. At least 9 points in all but one game, going back to November 30th in the game against Rutgers. And she's up to 13 here. Inbound for Clemson here. Eagles must foul. Wagner actually has the most fouls to give. That is her first. And Clemson will go to the line where they're 14 of 18 so far today and can have an opportunity to put the game away here late.
Yeah, that's probably the last one you'll see BC give, assuming Perpignan makes these two.
Perpignan is 5 for 5 from the stripe today.
We've seen all year this Clemson team is really tough defensively. They gave Notre Dame a chore the other night. BC's going to end up shooting below 35% today. So, winnable stretch coming up here for Clemson. They go to Georgia Tech this week, bring in North Carolina next week, and, potential to go into that Tar Heels game, off back-to-back wins. And all of a sudden, you're looking at a team that is going to be a tough team to deal with in the ACC.
Well, as you talk about, this is on the horizon. Game against number 7, UNC certainly stands out. Boston College will be on the road at Miami. And still a lot of basketball to be played at this point of the season in the conference.
Yeah, you see both teams' opportunity here, right? Sub-500 record the rest of the way over the final 9 games for both of these teams. If you're Boston College, you've got Pitt twice. Panthers have struggled this year, so maybe an opportunity to pick up some wins there. A couple ranked opponents if you're looking for another signature win if you're Boston College. So ultimately, it always comes down to who's playing well come tournament time.
Mair inside for Gakdang, who's up to 8 points, 14.8 to go. In Yang, nearly taken away by Lacey, and they're going to get a jump ball, though possession remains with Clemson.
Just given the way this one has gone, it would not be a surprise to see these two teams meet somewhere again down the line. Whether it's the 8-9 game in the quarterfinal round, maybe somewhere in the first round. But still a lot of moving and shifting to go on over the next few weeks.
Robinson gets it in, and the foul goes against Gakdang. So third on Gakdang, which again sends Clemson back to the line. Tigers came in at 71% shooting their free throws this year, and they have been absolute money at the line today. 16 of 20. And add another for Inyang. He's one of the best free throw shooters on the team, 82% this year. Timeout for Boston College with 11.2 to go. Well, again, a special day here at Boston College with Carolyn Swords, one of the best players in program history, getting her number retired and into the rafters here at Conti Forum. So many different former players, former coaches here today to take this one in the history of this Boston College program, and a much-deserved honor for Carolyn Swords.
Hoping to see that the team continues its upward trend. A couple of 20-win seasons over the last few years, and this is a young, exciting group. I think for the most part that we've seen. We talked about Mair off the top and sort of what she's brought to the table in her freshman season. Hard not to think, project, right, over the course of, four-year career, what she could become in terms of her ability as a player, what she's already doing in terms of the minutes and the scoring and setting up teammates. And, you've got a really nice core here to build going forward, and you're just hoping that this is sort of the beginning process of building that chemistry that will continue over the next few seasons for Boston College.
And for Clemson now, if they can finish out this final 11 seconds, trying to pick up their second win of their last 4, which the other 2 in there, good efforts against Duke and Notre Dame. Todd, a late 3 try is off the mark, and the Clemson Tigers have come to Chestnut Hill and have a 10-point win over Boston College.
Well, it was all about the defense again today, Eric.